What if BFDIA had the same cast as BFDI and had no newbies? Non-present contestants still don't compete. So this is our original cast for BFDIA, and this is our new one. So in the original BFDIA, Tennisball says to split the teams between newbies and originals, which is what got me to make this BFDIA what if. But I think here Tennisball would make the teams color-coded. One team has fall colors and the other has spring ones. So it would look like this. Then I think Blocky would point out that his team has less people, but then Snowball would say there's nothing he can do about it since there's an odd amount of people. But then Eraser says that you can switch teams, and so Blocky would switch to be with his bros. Pencil and Max don't want to be with Spongy. Golf Ball switches so she could be with Tennis Ball, and Coiny switches to be away from Fiery. The challenge is tug of war, and the red team loses because Tennis Ball and Golf Ball would barely be pulling. Spongy cannot pull, and Fiery and Pin are the only ones who are actually trying their hardest. The prize goes to Fiery, so he gets Yoyle seeds, and he's the first safe. Also safe is Tennis Ball and Golf Ball. And after looking at the real BFDIA votes for episode 2 and 3, looks like Pinhead went from being 5th place to dead last. So, since Fiery got those Yoyle seeds as a prize, I think Golf Ball would tell him to plant them. And since the challenge is to make Yoyle stew, they win no matter what the blue team makes. So I think Rocky easily gets the prize, which is his very own speaker box. He's also the first safe along with Coiny, Pencil, Pen, Ice Cube, Needle, Teardrop, and Eraser. Then Match and Blocky are safe. Now it's down to Snowball and David. I think, yeah, David's out. It would have been a close vote, but Snowball has a personality, and it's another rule that mean characters always survive over non-objects. It's just the rules. So the challenge is to destroy bugs, and David would have been actually very good for this challenge since he's immune to bugs. But anyway, Spongy would be too big to fit in the container, but Tennis Ball and Golf... Oh wait, sorry, but if the character has an X on them, that means they get poisoned. I think Tennis Ball and Golf Ball would realize if he got Spongy in the container, that would kill the bugs. So he does that, and therefore they win. Also, Coiny named his team Wesk Bunch because he can roll like a wheel, Blocky's a square, and Pen has a cap. So Rocky wins the prize again, and it's the choice between a recovery center or immunity into the final 12. But he's dead, so I'm gonna say Blocky is most likely to have anti-poison. So he uses it on Rocky, and Rocky picks the recovery center. Safe is Rocky, Teardrop, Ice Cube, Pen, Coiny, Needle, and Pencil. We all saw the votes for last time. This is pretty obvious. Yes, Snowball's out. No doubt. So the challenge is to make a new Dream Island, and Team No Name would head to Golf Ball's underground factory, and Wesk Bunch would probably build a prank-themed island until Team No Name's island starts glowing. That's when Blocky throws Rocky and Ice Cube at the island, but it wouldn't do anything. So, Team No Name wins once again. Rocky wins the prize for the 6,000th time, and he gets to remove someone's limbs. He'd probably be so used to picking Tennis Ball, he'd pick Tennis Ball here. I think we all know the outcome, so I'll just skip to it. Not only is Blocky mean, he is also the reason they lost the challenge by making a prank-themed island that would just rage bait Rocky's speaker box. So Match, Pencil, and Ice Cube would break off of Wesk Bunch and join and create Free Smart. I think Fiery would suggest taking one of Wesk Bunch's members so they're tied for the largest team. So they would take Teardrop the same way Coiny did. Anyways, enough switching. The challenge is to get to the summit of Yoyle Mountain. So Free Smart rides the super van, Wesk Bunch walks, and Team No Name wouldn't walk. Golf Ball would demand to get on top of the Free Smart super van, and she grabs Tennis Ball on the way. Free Smart and Team No Name still get eaten by Eva Leafy, so the BFDIA 5B game still happens. Free Smart makes it out of Eva Leafy, so Pencil presses the red button, killing Match, so she presses the yellow button, locking her and Ice Cube in a cage. So lastly, she presses the purple button, letting them escape. Then they get chased by Eva Leafy, and Icy probably cuts the rope, leading to the recovery center getting crushed. Pencil would then scold Icy, and Icy dies of sadness. Wesk Bunch is walking until they fall into Evil Canyon, and Coiny would throw down Eraser for everybody to land on. But I bet you Pen jumps off from the guilt of standing on his best friend's dead body, killing both of them. And then Coiny would get slapped by Needle and get to the top of the land while holding Rocky. So they then tell Needle to jump onto the spikes and she'll be recovered, so she does, killing her. Then Coiny discovers that the recovery centers got destroyed, leading him to believe he's in the final four. Icy didn't die because you can't die of sadness, silly. So Rocky speaker box drops off an HPHPRCC, so they would get cranking. Match then reveals she's also not dead because the explosion wasn't enough to kill her. And then she would use Ice Cube to put out the flames on top of her, killing her once again. Anyway, once the cranking is done, Match and Pencil recover Icy and they head off. Then Coiny recovers Needle, Eraser, and Pen. Needle then has the great idea to recover Golf Ball and say, "You." And if she doesn't, then say, "I'll call you Buzzle Brain Bossy Bot," for short BBBB. And first, Golf Ball recovers her teammates. And then Golf Ball says that they were riding the van, but since they already drove off. So Golf Ball would build an invention, but Coiny would secretly grab onto the invention while it was going, and so would the others. Free Smart gets to Yoyle Land, and Team No Name follows shortly after. I think Coiny has the big brain move to jump onto Free Smart's van, since Free Smart is ahead of No Name. So now Wesk Bunch is faster than Team No Name. Therefore, Free Smart comes first, Wesk Bunch comes second, and Team No Name comes in last. I'm gonna change this team's color real quick. That's better. Anyways, the prize goes to Fiery, which is a meteor shield, which is useless. Anyways, safe is Fiery, Tennis Ball, and Teardrop. And I personally think there's an easy outcome here. Yeah, Spongy kind of did nothing, so he's out. Hold on. Much better. I think Rocky would switch to No Name, but the challenge is to find a place to live. And Coiny would suggest making it so that the other teams get the worst sleep possible. I believe Eraser would have been given a prank invention from Blocky that's kind of like Yellowface's product with the headphones and stuff. So the headphones would go to Ice Cube and Tennis Ball. Wesk Bunch would go to AMP, the place they went in the original episode, and they'd start to get rained on. So Coiny just puts a pipe there and it's all good. And since Ruby was the one to ask Pencil if she knew where they were going when Pencil was riding in circles in the original episode, Wesk Bunch wins, and so does Team No Name, since the same thing happens to them than in the original episode. Teardrop being there doesn't really make a difference. Ice Cube wins the prize, which is to get changed to purple. This is obvious. I won't even hype it up. Yeah, match is out. Isn't close. First of all, no one on Free Smart has Yoyle, so Team No Name, aka Tennis Ball, doesn't send anyone to Free Smart. Second of all, I didn't show match going to the LOL because the challenge is to build a place for the eliminated contestants to stay. Third of all, Free Smart actually knows what the challenge is since they were there. Before the challenge, though, I think Pencil would get Teardrop to join Free Smart, considering how easy it would be. West Bunch's elimination place stays the same, but since Fries isn't here to glue Golf Ball to a tree, Team No Name would make the WTF again. Free Smart has the Free Smart Super Van's back seat as the elimination place, and that means Team No Name is up for elimination. And they would use West Bunch's place, but Penn would step up and say if he's eliminated, he doesn't want to feel the pain of their elimination place, so they'd use Free Smart's place instead. Fiery gets the prize, which is just to go back in time 10 seconds, so it's useless, but safe is Fiery and Tennis Ball. Rocky would have been safe by now, but his hate base started growing around this time, so he's out. Rocky's speaker box would start crying since his owner got eliminated, so they would have to call up Flower. I also think by this point, Icy could get Teardrop to get the headphones off, since she's water. And Tennis Ball would also ask and she'd do it. And so, since Flower's hosting, I think I'm going to skip to the beauty contest. Or well, that's what Flower thought until Golf Ball made the challenge to rip Flower's petals off. Coiny swoops in and grabs a petal, and then Flower snaps and puts on locks. West Bunch goes in the lake to search for keys, while Tennis Ball uses his magnet to attract everything but a key. And also, Golf Ball would be carrying the magnet, and Tennis Ball uses it and stuff. Or no, he pulls it out of his inventory. Free Smart would just keep trying makeovers on Flower, and West Bunch would finally find the keys. Then Ice Cube would keep calling everything Flower put on ugly, but once Flower kicks Ice Cube, Pencil would tell Flower it's not ugly and she'd give them a key. Then Team No Name finally gets a key, and Golf Ball tells Fiery to hide the key somewhere. So he grabs two petals, making them safe, and Fiery would go put them somewhere, the keys somewhere. Fiery is fire, and door number 2 is fire, and door number 3 is harmless. So Fiery has a big chance he takes a safe place to hide the key. So I'm gonna say he hides it in door 3 because door 2 is fire, but he would realize that he can't put the key in there, and that would probably be the first one he opens. So he'd close it immediately and put it in door 3. Then he'd kick the door down and leave like nothing happened. And then Coiny would come and ask where the keys are, and Fiery would tell them they're in one of the rooms. Coiny would try door number 1 and dies. And Needle would try door number 2 and she also dies. And Eraser and Pen are dead, so Teardrop would come over there and open door number 3, leaving West Bunch out of luck. Coiny wins the prize, which is to remove someone's size and make them smaller. So he obviously chooses Fiery. It's like Fiery Jr. Safe is Coiny and Needle. Looks like one of the bros is getting eliminated today. It's gonna be Eraser. So in the original episode, the bugs become the host. But I think the Eraser would get tired of Flower and bring her to Free Smart's trunk with him, leading Pen to call Blocky in. Oh wait, that was meant to say LOL. I don't know why that says WTF to come host, but Pen would call Blocky in the LOL to come host. They would make the teams, and tennis ball would be teamed with Needle and Teardrop as the quasi rhombis. Pencil, Coiny, and Fiery are the hearts, and Golf Ball, Ice Cube, and Pen are the stars. The challenge is to enter the birdhouse, and Coiny still has that shrink ray, so I don't even think this is a challenge at all. Tennis Ball wins the prize, which is an obelisk, and Safe is Ice Cube, Teardrop, and Needle. So here's the thing about these two. One has an ally, one doesn't anymore. Therefore, Pen go bye-bye now. So for team switching, I think we all know what's gonna happen. Coiny and Needle would then realize they have to get a new team member or they're doomed. So they take Teardrop. Wow, she's the new Needle with all that switching and stuff. Then Pencil would need some members to join Free Smart, so they take Fiery by the hand and make him switch. This also means that the yellow color for Wesk Bunch goes bye-bye. Anyways, the next contest is Scavenger hat tag. So No Name would use the obelisk as their trinket. Wesk Bunch's trinket is dirt, and Free Smart is using the Free Smart super van. Free Smart gets in the van before Fiery starts burning the seats down, and then later the van is burnt down, so Free Smart is automatically up for elimination. No Name is looking for West Bunch's trinket, and West Bunch is looking for No Name's trinket. Coiny, Needle, and Teardrop would dig until they realize that their trinket isn't in dirt, so they ask TB where it is, and he'd say, it's behind that tree, like in the original episode. I don't know why he'd do that, but I'm pretty sure after he did that, if Golf Ball was here, then Golf Ball would be very mad and not happy. But that means Tennis Ball wins the prize, and it's between the removal of another contestant's existence or immunity into the final 6. He has no reason to remove anybody, so he'd choose immunity into the final 6. So that means he's safe along with Ice Cube and Golf Ball. Pencil's here because, well, she's Pencil, and Fiery's here because he not only did he cause his team to lose, but he also already won a season. So is that enough to be Pencil in votes? Honestly, I think it would be enough. He'd probably be more annoying and he'd complain more, like Pin did during this time, so all that would eliminate him. Pencil would be mad they lost another member, and so they'd try to get somebody else on the team, they'd try to get Teardrop back on their team, but then West Bunch would start pulling as well, and then Golf Ball would pull too. So Teardrop would do what Needle did, and Teardrop would create her own team like in Teapot. Anyway, the contest is to be your truest self. So, Tennis Ball, Coiny, and Ice Cube have cake on them. Teardrop is disqualified. Golf Ball would have said, "What if I'm not messed up?" And she would have gotten her brain burnt by Fiery. And Needle is good, but since in the original episode, Coiny licks off all the cake on his face, Tennis Ball gets the prize again, which is a disbandment token to disband one team. But we'll get to that in a minute. Safe is TB, GB, and Teardrop. Seems like 2 teams are getting disbanded today. Pencil is here because she's Pencil, and Ice Cube is here because she got heavily disliked and boring during this time, and I don't know how she's out yet. So because of this, here she's not escaping. So about TB's disbandment token, there's really only one team they can play it on, so it's gonna be West Bunch. Pencil would probably then get desperate and get Needle to join Free Smart, allowing her to be a free member, and it'd probably work, honestly. TD would then see the fact that Coiny's team has a lot of free spaces for people to join, so she'd join that. They'd probably name it TDC for Teardrop Coiny or something. I honestly don't know. But the challenge is to light up the sky with your beacons. And Coiny would be the first to the top, earning 1 for TDC. But they're out of luck because Free Smart has the Free Smart Super Coffin, and therefore they would get all the lights before Team No Name can even get 1. Tennis Ball wins the prize, and it's a universal translator. Safe is Tennis Ball and Coiny. I think it's obvious. Bye bye, Golfy. I shrunk Fiery a little bit. Without GB, Tennis Ball would go rogue. Anyways, the challenge is to collect items. So Coiny would get 5 items for TDC. TB doesn't have limbs, so he's kind of doomed here. So, Needle would get, whatever that says right here. I can't read it. Pencil gets Bark, a beehive, and she'd get the whole tree because that sounds like something Pencil would do. And Pencil would kick the tree, resulting in Free Smart getting way more than 10, so they're safe. So it's just Coiny versus Teardrop since TB can't go and collect items, so 5 items now goes to Coiny. Teardrop would go to the waterfall with Coiny, and then Leafy comes in and grabs Teardrop. Coiny adds air to his basket, and Leafy tells Teardrop to put the eliminated contestants in her basket because during this time, Teardrop was on Free Smart. She probably got the key to the back seat or something, allowing Teardrop to earn 7 points. Once Teardrop comes back, she'd probably go to the shop or the mall, whatever you want to call it, and she'd probably steal a lot of items, so she'd probably get 10 items. Most insane comeback ever. So the next challenge is to distribute items, and Pencil is the one who decides who's in the bottom 2, aka the danger zone, since she put in more items on Free Smart than Needle. Needle would give her stuff to Pencil, distributing them. Teardrop would do the same to Tennis Ball, giving her items to Tennis Ball. Coiny would see this and put the stuff in his basket, not to TB, making TB actually get 10. Coiny would put TB inside his basket only for TB to put his head at the bottom. of the basket out of a hole he made in the basket and hop on his bottom and distributing his items to a shopkeeper to put for sale. Pencil replaces TB with Coiny in the danger zone, and I think that would be the outcome. This is extremely obvious, isn't it? Yeah, Teardrop would get out. It wouldn't even be close. Like, literally, I could see it from a freaking mile away. And plus, even if Coiny did something, like, bad, this could be, like, Derpy Doofus could do, like, he could, like, tell random people to dislike Teardrop's thing. It could be like BFDIA 4 all over again. I think this is where Needle realizes she wants to win for herself, so that means this is almost the exact same Final Four, just with Pencil here instead of Book. For BFDIA 22, and everything has been calculated. I calculated everything, and Tennis Ball still wins immunity, even without his limbs. Alright, this is obvious as heck, but yeah. Pence isn't making it any further than this. I've calculated the results third, second, and first, and the way I did that basically was because Jack and Jellyfy is most likely gonna make it so that the viewers get to vote on who wins the season. So yeah. Tennis Ball probably wins BFDI 23, resulting in these two, and it would be the same vote, and Coiny would get out, leading him to be third. And then between these two, Tennis Ball is way more popular, so Needle gets first. So yeah. Thanks to you all for watching. Hope you have a nice day or night, depends.